Sarah from iStampin.com. Thank you for joining me today. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. I am showing you how I made some handmade ornaments. And I wanted to show you these side by side. This is actually from a kit that I received from Stampin' Up, or that I purchased from Stampin' Up years ago. Let's see, it's 2014, so we're talking 6 years ago. And I still have some pieces of it. And what it was in the kit is that this is a chipboard with a star cut out, and then the paper that matches it. And so what I did is I used heat and stick powder and then the Dazzling diamonds and heat set it to give it that. So what I did is I used heat and stick powder and then Dazzling diamonds, and then I heat set that, and then just punched a hole and tied some ribbon through it to give it or to be able to hang it. And so what I did with these is that I attached these to gift packages, you know, just like as a little decoration, and then they are able to use these as Christmas tree ornaments. And so because we do not have any steel ruled dies that are circles or stars anymore, or really any type of shapes like this, what I decided to do is to use these circle and star framelits like here. And I figured out the right sizing. So for the star, it's actually the third star in, if you count it from the largest to the smallest, it's the third largest star. And then for the circle, it is the second circle if you're starting, not the scallop circle. So if you're starting from the scallops, it's the third largest circle. And so what I decided to do with this one is I layered crumb cake cardstock. And so I cut out 6 of these in crumb cake cardstock, you can see here, and then I cut out a piece of designer series paper from our Trim the Tree designer series paper pack. So I just picked out one of the patterns there, and then I glued them all together. And then I was able to do the same thing as I did here, is I was able to use the heat and stick powder, Dazzling diamonds, and then be able to string some ribbon through it. And then so, you know, if you notice, this star's a little bit skinnier, sharper edges. This one's a little bit fatter, but it still gives you that same effect. It's a great way just to add a little homemade flair to your gift packages for Christmas that you may be giving for, you know, if you're going to a holiday party for the hostess, if you're looking for teacher gifts, you know, you can make these, you can do like a little gift set, and then, you know, or you can make, you know, 5 and put them in a little cello bag and tie that. So it's just a really super easy way. So I thought I would show you how to make it, and some of the tricks or the tips that I learned when I was making this one. So the first thing that you need to do is to cut two pieces of craft cardstock, crumb cake cardstock, in half, and then you're going to use 3 pieces. I found that having 6 circles gives you the right enough thickness. And so this is how it will go. So what you're going to do is you're going to cut the circles out first. Okay, so you can get 2 circles per panel. And then once you cut the circle out, then you're going to go back and put the star in the middle. And the trick that I learned when making this star is I'm going to put like a little tick mark at where I lined up the point of the star. You probably can't tell, maybe if I zoom in, the crumb cake cardstock doesn't line up perfectly because the stars weren't in the same, you can see it here, right there. But the good thing is when I sponged around the edges with garden green, and then I took my marker and filled in spots that I couldn't get, and then with the Dazzling diamonds, I mean, it doesn't really, you can't notice that. But what I'm hoping to avoid this time is if I put a little tick mark at the top, telling me that that's the top of the star, that I may be able to line it up a little bit better. So, so I'll show you how I do that, okay? Ooh, sorry. Get on camera. So I'll show you how I do that, okay? All right, I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got all my circles cut out, as you can see here. So I've got 6 circles. And so what I'm doing now is just positioning the star on the circle so that it will cut out the inside. Flip this over. And this is a little tip. If y'all have this magnetic platform and sometimes your die seems to kind of like be jumping around on the plate or on the paper, just flip your plate over. I think it's because of the warpness that when it goes through the big shot. Okay, so let's just see if I've got this. So just kind of play with it, get it into the position, and then I'm just going to put a little mark right there that lets me know that that's the top. Okay, so and so what I'll do is I will make a mark. I will make a mark on each of these circles to let me know that this is the top. And so hopefully when I put all the stars together, they'll line up better. Okay, so I'll be right back. Okay, so here I've got all 6 of my stars cut out, and I just kind of want to show you what I did here. So when I had a full piece of cardstock, what I would do is I would use my original star, and so I would place the star on there, just pretend like this is a full circle, that it hasn't been cut out yet. And then I would play the first star that I cut out, I would kind of place over it just to make sure that it was positioned properly. And if it wasn't, I'd kind of be able to shift it. And then when I got it, you know, pretty much, I mean, they're not, you know, perfect, but they're close. I would just make that little tick mark there at the top that you can see right there. And so, so I've got all 6 stars. So now what I can do is I can just, you know, line them up from the top. And hopefully I've got it better, that they line up a little bit better than the first one that I made. And they do. That's a lot better. I mean, they're not perfect by any means, but that's a lot better than the first one that I made. So just using that little trick definitely helps. And you don't have to erase it because you're going to be gluing all these together, and then you're going to cover the top one with cardstock. Okay, so now what you want to do is do the exact same thing with the piece of pattern paper, whichever one that you choose. So I'm going to go cut a circle and then a star, and I'm going to use my original star to do the exact same thing so that this one will layer perfectly on top of that first one. And I'll be right back, okay? Okay, so here's this one. Now I didn't make a tick mark on this because I'll be able to remember which one's the top. So let's see how I did here. So let's get all these back. And then let's put this one on there. Oops. Okay, there we go. Not too bad. The top one isn't as good as the other ones, but when I ink it up, and I'll be able to use a marker in the stamp pad, and so that will cover up whatever crumb cake cardstock is showing. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to do is just glue all these together, and so I'm just using the Tombow Mono multi-liquid glue. And just making sure you've got enough glue to keep all the edges down. And you'll just do that for all the crumb cake and then the pattern paper cardstock. And with the glue being wet, the good thing is that you're able to move it around and just get it lined up as good as possible. Okay, and so you're just going to repeat that for all of the stars, and then I'll show you what I did next. Okay, so I'm just going to cut out this part, okay, and then I'll be back when I'm done gluing. Okay, so here I am doing my last one. So I've got the glue on the pattern paper, and I am just matching it up to all the stars that. Okay, so once you have it all glued together, you just kind of want to go around the edges and make sure that it's lined up as good as possible. And then what I suggest doing is getting like a heavy book. I'm using a ream of paper, and I'm just going to place it on top of the cardstock, the ornament that I'm making, and just do it, you know, for about 15 minutes, just because the paper is still kind of like, you know, separated, and so by putting weight on it, that will really make it compressed. Okay, so I'll wait about 15-20 minutes, and then I'll come and finish it. Okay, so let's just take this off and see what we got. Okay, so that's great. So it's dry, and it's nice and smushed together, nice and compact. We are going to sponge the edges and the inside with cherry cobbler. Okay, so I've just got a sponge dauber here, and I'm going to take my ink pad, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to sponge all the edges, and then what this does is it covers up the crumb cake cardstock. So you want to just do this all the way around, and then once you're done with that, you're going to go on the inside of the star and do that. Okay, so I've got all the edges, I've got all around the edges done. Okay, and now what I'm doing is I'm going on the inside and going to ink up the cardstock to kind of blend in better. And so what you just do is just get your sponge dauber in there as best as you can, and if there's some spots that you just can't get to, that's where your marker will come in, and you can just color in the spots of the cardstock that are still showing the crumb cake color. And so just go in there. And then what we're going to do once this is, once we've done all the edges to our liking, is we're going to take our heat gun and we're going to zap it and just get this ink dried, because if it's still wet and you use the Versamark ink pad to cover up the front of the star to be able to put the powder on there, the ink will transfer to the stamp pad. You'll see what happened to me earlier, and when you use it again, the ink will go all over.